2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond the Bench, and you are listening live to Season 3, Episode 2. We welcome you back and look forward to sharing a special episode with you here today. But thanks for listening. Today we're going to talk about the one word, the Todd Gordon book, and we're going to talk about our one word with a couple of special guests. And the first is a first-timer, Michael Harrison from down in the great state of Florida. Michael, nice to have you on. Why don't you tell us where you're from and anything about yourself you'd like to tell us?
Absolute pleasure to be here. Excited to converse with you guys today. Michael Harrison, the school's Orange Park High School, Orange Park, Florida, just south of Jacksonville, connected if you want to look at it that way. We're a school of about 1,600 students. We play in a 5A category in Florida. In my 5th year as the AD, been in the Clay County school system for 23 years now. Spent 13 of those as a basketball coach, softball coach at a school down the road prior to going back. I'm a graduate of Orange Park High School, so this is my alma mater, a place where I'm excited to be and like to be. Yep. And I'm just excited to be part of this group and learn from you guys and hear what you have to say and hopefully contribute a little bit of things we do down here in the South.
Absolutely. Thank you. And Clay County, is that right? So
yes, sir.
Your district director is John.
Yes, say it. John, I'm going to say it wrong. I say it wrong all the time. I say Scrimolo.
Okay.
And John's awesome man, moving up in the national ranks, and is taken over last summer to finally give us a little bit of a directive, and where we're going, and has challenged a lot of us, including myself, to get out of our comfort zones, and try to get a different lens on how to do the job and what we can get accomplished at our schools. Our county's diverse. From where we're at on the north end to a small rural school on the south end, to some more financial populated areas in the middle. So he's got a job to blend us, but we've got a chance to, I think, to all put our own niche on our communities, and kind of form our own little brand.
Yeah, great. I think, your social media presence as a district is
it's really good,
phenomenal, really good.
John, listen, he's challenged us. I Ripper's one of the sponsors. They actually gave us a presentation at one of our meetings, and he hasn't come out and said, you have to do this, but that's what kind of got him to where he's at, because that's what his background's in. So now we all think about it. While I was sitting here waiting for this, I was on the phone making some Instagram posts ready to put out for tomorrow morning. After week, just say, hey, we got a game tonight. Come out and watch the game. All the little things just for the kids to see it and try to reach them, and then blend out and try to hit all the facets of social media, the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook, and much information if we can get out the best. And that's if you look at John himself, you can't go anywhere with him. If you play golf with him, he's going to have his phone out. You're going to be on Instagram or Twitter. I'm like, man, you don't want to see my golf swing. Put that thing
away. I see John on LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, we'll get back to you, Michael, in a little bit when we get going, and appreciate having you here tonight. And then our second guest is a multi-timer, third time here on Beyond the Bench.
Gold jacket.
Yep, Taylor Chapman up in Spencer. How you doing, Taylor?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys. Always enjoy coming on and talking with you guys. I'm going into year 3 as an AD, and got a lot to learn yet, and that's why I enjoy coming on and talking with you guys and learning from you guys and people like Michael. It's been cool to see your guys's podcast grow and hear about connections of how people all across the country and listen to your podcast with some international ADs too. So that's been really cool. And thank you guys for doing this. It's helped a young AD like me a lot. We're at a 3A school. Michael, we're in a a combo between boys and girls, 4A or 5A class state. And we're 3A, about 720 kids. Should be about 740 next year. And actually in Clay County, Iowa too. So,
yeah, there you go.
Connection. Fun fact, 3 places I've lived in my life, I've always lived in Clay County. Clay County, South Dakota, and Vermilion. A Clay County in Missouri, actually, just north of Kansas City. And then Clay County in Spencer, Iowa. So
should I see your resume?
What are the odds?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So Spencer grad as well. So it's cool to be in hometown and serve your community and your kids here and better their experience. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a neat thing about both of you. We've talked about before how when you hire coaches, and I think it's the same as ADs, if you can hire graduates, they have that extra heartbeat for that school, and that's worth something. So kudos to you guys for going back home.
Appreciate that.
Well, hey, let's pay a couple bills here. And we'd first like to thank our sponsor, Hometown Ticketing. And if you're an AD interested in saving some time, making your job a little less stressful, or ways to improve your fan experience at games, we suggest you take a good look at Hometown Ticketing. Hometown Ticketing provides schools with everything needed to offer professional level online ticketing at absolutely no cost to your school or athletic program. Hometown integrates industry-leading technology directly into your existing school or athletic website. This provides your fans with a simple and easy ticket buying experience that takes place directly on your website. There's no need for your fans to create an account, remember a password, or download an app. From individual game tickets to customized season pass programs, our friends at Hometown Ticketing can customize an entire ticketing platform for your program. And the best part is, it doesn't cost your school or athletic program anything to get started. So own your ticketing with Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing partner of VNN Sports. Visit www.hometownticketing.com to enroll your school today. That's www.hometownticketing.com.
All right. I've got Gipper. Want your athletic program to stand out on social media? Now you can with Gipper. Using Gipper, you can create and share professional sports graphic to social media in seconds on any device and without needing any design experience. Try Gipper out for free at gogipper.com/athletics.
And last but not least, we'd like to thank our third sponsor, Varsity Bound. Sam, Todd, Michael, Brian, and the rest of the team there at Varsity Bound for not just taking care of us here on Beyond the Bench, but taking care of ADs across the state. And as many of you might have heard, they're expanding beyond the borders and moving into other states like South Dakota and starting to serve their ADs as well. We talk a lot about all their products and services and how responsive they are to what we need as ADs, whether it's scheduling, whether it's statistics entries for our coaches, making that easier. We haven't talked a whole lot about one of their other features, and if you're interested, get a hold of Brian with Varsity Bound. But I know, Scott, you take pretty good advantage of this page. I know that Butch does it at Dallas Southern Grimes also, but their fundraising page where they can take and integrate all your links, booster club membership drives and things like that into one page and have kind of a one-stop shop for your community on their fundraising page with their with that if you're a Varsity Bound Gold member. So that's something to look at. And you want to simplify and streamline your fundraising efforts. That's another great feature that Varsity Bound provides. They're a great sponsor for us. Thanks to all those guys on the Varsity Bound team for their support and all they're doing for ADs.
You bet. Thank you. All right. Well, hey, we've been talking. Now that we're season 3, we have production meetings. And so, we're thinking about, and I didn't even run this past you guys the other night. We were talking about, what can we do? We do what's up, what's down. And sometimes when we get multi-guests, that can get a little bit long. It's fun to do. So you saw I put out there on Twitter, on our Twitter account, you might be an AD if. And
like you might be a redneck.
That's right. Yeah. Right. But the response has been amazing. I think I've copied over 7 pages of lines now, and they're still coming in. So I just thought, tonight we'll kick that off. We won't do it every week, but we've got some things we can talk about. And Michael and Taylor, if you've got something you want to throw in here, but we'll talk through this because I think as I read through them, I think, oh yeah, I remember that one. I do that every day, something like that. So here's the first one. And this comes from Mike McCaffrey out in New Hampshire. Okay. You might be an AD when you wake up out of a deep sleep at 2:47 a.m., wondering if you scheduled the JV girls basketball bus for 2:30 or 3:30.
Yeah,
Been there, done that.
no doubt.
Except usually my question is, did I schedule that bus or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Aaron.
Okay. Next step to that, though. How many have gotten up and actually looked at their computer at 3:30 in the morning to see if you did it or not? Because I can't go back to sleep.
Right, yeah, I'm the same way. I cannot sleep after I wake up. Boom, it's over with.
I'm not as experienced as you guys. I can go back to sleep. It'll fix it in the morning.
I'm with
Hey,
Mike on that one.
I gotta tell you, I've been waking up at like, it's been crazy here lately, but like 3:34 in the morning, and I've been watching the old Dean Martin celebrity roasts on Peacock. I love them. They're funnier than hell. So
Yeah.
If I get up at 2:30 in the morning and check my computer, my dog's going to take my spot, and I'm never getting back in bed.
That's true.
My wife, dog can take the spot. I'm on the couch, and it may not be cold here, but it's cold enough not to want to get out of bed in the morning.
I hear you. That when I read that from Mike, I thought, oh man, that's spot on. And then I knew too, because if I wake up and I think about, well, man, do I have officials? It's usually an official, or I got officials, or who's the ticket takers? Do we have ticket takers? I got to get up and look, or I just can't. I can't sleep. Taylor, that happened to you yet in your 3 years?
I'm with Michael though on it has happened, but I'm with Michael where I'm up for like 30 seconds.
Well, I admire that.
Wow.
I'm groggy out of the deep sleep where I can't physically get out of bed,
That's a
Yeah.
gift I don't have. I'm wide-eyed. Oh crap. And I got to go figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Luckily, I can avoid that and still sleep. Not to say I don't toss and turn a little bit more, but I can't fix it at 2:30 in the morning. I can fix it at 7. I'll just get up and go.
Gotcha. Good. We'll check back with you in 15 years and see how that goes.
15 years of retirement. Check back in about 13 to see how
All
it's
right.
going.
Yeah. I'll be checking from retirement on a golf course if I'm checking in 15 years, I hope.
Okoboji, right?
Oh, at Okoboji. Yep, that's right. All right, here's number 2. This comes from Brent Butcher, the Butch Man, Dallas Center Grimes High School here in Iowa. All right, Butch says, you might be an AD when you send out a detailed event information sheet on Monday, only to have the opponent's bus drop off at a location not on the map.
I went as far as to put, I made a graphic map and then put like the little cartoon buses. Here's where the bus parks.
Of course,
arrows to everything.
Of course,
and
you did.
Nobody reads it. Not one person. The coach, the AD, nobody reads it.
Todd, I knew you were going to pick this one out. As soon as I read this one in the comments, I knew this would make the show because you sent a text to us a few weeks back about why do I do this? Why do I spend the time of organizing this when nobody reads it anyway?
And you know what? It happened last night.
Yep.
And granted, we have a new high school, different location, and I've been trying to go to Google Maps, get them to change it. I don't know what that process. If somebody's got, Scott, you know anybody at Google Maps?
I do not. I'm sorry. I wish I did.
Okay. Well, if you do,
then I could get it updated so my site was correct.
Hold on. Pause the show.
Wait. Stop.
Season 3, episode 2. It took us 42 episodes before Jarvis didn't have an answer or didn't know somebody who knew the answer.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
So so last night we're playing a team that will remain nameless in a non-conference game, and they're late. They're not showing up. And Michael, I'm coaching this year too for 1 year, and I'm coaching girls basketball. So I come out, and my site supervisor says they're not here, but they called and they went to the old middle school.
oh, jeez.
So they were late, their bus driver. And I asked the coach, I said, did you guys not get an information sheet passed along to you? Well, yeah, but he just Googled it. And of course, nobody says anything to him. So
I have that happen at Centennial. They still go to Northview, even though I send the link directly to the map of our school, and they still go to the old school. So I know what that's like.
I don't have that. School was built in 1962. Everybody knows where my school is.
Yeah.
Now the problem is when I tell them where to park the buses, they don't follow that map when they get on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They park exactly where you don't want them to park.
It's an overview. It's got little arrows pointing where to go.
Yeah.
You know, I got a 1 for the referees to go for football game and a 2 for the buses to go. And they're all over campus, and I'm driving around trying to,
Yeah.
the only certain gates, and people are going, I'm like, come on, it's a Friday night. Can things please go smooth?
Right.
No, they can't.
right.
Nope.
Well, I'm glad they don't read them down in Florida either. That's good to know.
Nope.
Consistency.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, there's a couple, and we'll
read your and back.
Right.
we'll visit that once in a while. We've got plenty, and anybody out there who wants to contribute some more, you might be an AD. If hop on that Twitter account and let us know or send us a message. We'd love to hear some more. But well, hey, the show tonight, and we started this last year. We did a one-word show, and we're going to continue that. We put out there again on the Twitter account if anybody wanted to join us, and we had 4 or 5 that said they would, but Michael and Taylor were the first ones to respond. So when you're one of the first 2 to respond, guess what? You're the guys on. So this will be good. And what we want to do is, and I think we'll visit this, but now that we have a connection with Michael and Taylor, now we're just this is kind of our accountability partners too. So we'll be checking in on each other, and maybe if anybody needs some encouragement out there, Michael or Taylor, you reach out to one of us and we talk through it, or say, hey, I need some help with this. But I think the great thing about this process is that you need to do it with other people, and you need to just have some accountability and some help with it. So we're all going to reveal our word tonight, I think, and kind of what it means to us, or we'll talk through that. But Aaron is going to kind of guide us through and just kind of review the one-word process, and then we'll get into talking about our one word specifically.
You bet. So if you haven't read John Gordon's book, One Word, it's something we certainly would recommend you take a look at and spend some time with. It's something every time you read it, you will come up with a different perspective on how to approach, I guess, New Year's resolutions in a different way. And John Gordon talks about that in his book, about how many people set New Year's resolutions, set these broad, lofty goals to themselves in January, and just don't follow through on them. And that's kind of where the one word process was born with him and with others with a similar passion. And it's more than just a New Year's resolution. It's about selecting a word that is going to speak to you in terms of who you want to become or work to become, or what you want to work to be better at over the next year, not just a goal to accomplish. And I like how you put this here, Todd, because people spend a lot of time setting to-do goals rather than to-be goals. And the one-word process is really about setting yourself on a journey for the year, rather than just hey, I'm going to work out 3 times a week. It's more about what is working out 3 times a week going to do for you, and how's it going to make you a better person? How's it make you a better spouse? How's it make you a better parent or AD or friend, et cetera. So it's really more about picking something that drives you to become the best version of yourself is really what this one word process is about. We've talked about this in the past about it takes some time. It's not just something you sit down and write 3 or 4 words down, circle the one that looks the best. It really is something that by reading through the book and going through the process and reflecting, it really is something that just, you'll sit there for days, and you guys can speak to this as you've gone through your process. I will find myself for days spinning on 3 or 4 different words. And then for some reason, out of the blue, when I'm not expecting it, that word will just come to me after days of thinking about, what do I want to focus on this year? Have you found the same thing as you've gone through the process?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think, honestly, I'll speak, and then Michael and Taylor, you jump in too, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what I'm usually doing, but it seems like by the time I'm done reading the book, I've got it. I really haven't had a lot of spinning tires, so to speak. It seems like, I've had clarity pretty quick. Maybe that's because I've got so much to work on, that I just kind of, okay, well, that sounds good. I didn't think I need to do that. But yeah, for me, I haven't had to spin between 3 and 4. It seems like every year I've done it, and I think this is about the 5th or 6th year I've done it. Seems like the word has come pretty clearly, which I'm thankful for. So I don't know, Taylor, Michael, how many times have you done it, or what's your process been as far as discovering your word?
I've
Michael,
been
you
doing
go ahead.
probably since 2014. I actually read the book probably in like September, October timeframe. Introduced it to one of my basketball teams, and we did it as a little team bonded together to create our team word for the year, our slogan. And then usually I start kind of mulling ideas and thinking of things and where do I want to go, and I don't say I mull over them or go back and forth, even though I had the last couple of days to question myself if what I revealed tonight is the right word. And then somehow it kind of hits you, different things work out. I try to be a positive guy. So I've had some of those years where, I'm going to focus on that and clarity and things of that nature. So it's just, I think if I sit back and process and some of it revolves around, all right, what do I want to do for myself and professionally and all those things. And, the last 4 or 5 years, it's been a pretty easy process, I think.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah, I was actually texting Todd. I don't remember what night it was, but it was before the turn of the year, and we were texting about it, and I said, well, I don't know, did you post yours or something? But I don't know how we got to texting that night, and said, well, and he asked me what mine was going to be, and I said, well, I was pretty bad at mine last year, so I think I'm just going to carry it over. He goes, well, the book actually doesn't recommend that. Dang it, Todd. I didn't want to think about it. And so, I was pretty undisciplined in mine, which is funny because my focus wanted to be self-discipline in different areas of my life. And so, Todd had described to me how he, what his word and what it meant. And, it drew me to one of my favorite verses, Jeremiah 29:11, which, it dates some things to my past and events that happened in my life. And one of my best friends who's officiating my wedding in April, one time told me, hey, have you ever read verses 12 and 13 after that?
Mm-hmm.
And which I'll talk about again later. And so when I read, drew me to that, and one of the words in there just kind of popped in my head. So, fortunate like Todd, where it didn't take came to me pretty quickly and really struck me. So,
Yeah.
And this is only my second year doing it, actually. So
Okay.
Hopefully this year goes better.
Well, yeah.
Well, one of the things that John talks about in the book, in terms of the one-word process, is discovering it's a journey to discover a God word, not just a good word. And I think it gets back to what I was talking about earlier, where it's the process of going through this one word, picking your one word for the year and letting that be your driver for the year is picking something that's going to push you to pursue becoming your personal best, becoming the best version of yourself. Is something I've been hearing a lot lately. I really love that statement. And that puts a bigger focus on it. It's like I said, it's not a to-do list. and some of the things we'll talk about in the book is once you pick your word, we'll talk later on, we pick our words, maybe what are some of the places we put them, but it's important to start placing that word in prominent places, in your mirror, in your office. Maybe it's on your, maybe it's
on your cat.
This is Stormy. She's my 10-week-old kitten, and she's crawling all around the table, and she just found the computer. Anyway, it's, just put it in places you're going to see it daily and be reminded daily of what your journey is that you're on, and how can you take that journey on today. Todd, you already shared this important part as well. It's important to create an accountability team. Who are the people who are going to, you're going to let know in your life that, hey, this is my word, and this is why it's my word, and this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and who I'm trying to become by pursuing this word this year, and have them hold you accountable to that as well. So it's a really cool process. Like Todd said, it's year 2 for us talking about this on the show. This will be my 6th year, I believe, of doing this as well. So
very good. Well, so it's time, and we're going to reveal our word, talk through them a little bit, and I think, guys, just amongst us here too, and if you have a question for somebody as they're talking about their word, ask it. It doesn't matter who asked it, but if you got a question for somebody, or just go ahead and do it. So, Aaron, we're going to have you continue on and do your one word.
I'm the leadoff this year on
You
this.
are leading off.
I love it.
I tell you what, when we started talking about this back in our production meeting, that's good stuff. We have to laugh at ourselves sometimes. I'll be honest, we talked about it, and I hadn't thought about it yet. I really had not thought about the one word process for the year yet. And here's why. I go back 2 years ago, and my word was expand. And hands down, the best word I picked yet. I had a fantastic year of seeing that on my board in my office every day and thinking about how will I expand my influence? How will I expand the kind of person I am today? How will I expand myself through reading, through writing, through speaking? I had a fantastic year letting that word drive me through the year. I was super excited about last year's word. Last year was relentless. And by February, I was off the tracks on that. I lost my mojo. I let the negative kind of grind of the wintertime get to me. And by March, I was a basket case. I just really was in a bad spot, and I just let the word go. And I think anytime I tried to get any traction back, COVID and the derecho storm here just really kept knocking me down every time I'd get going again. So I followed 2 years ago, my best word and best year pursuing that word, to last year just really not fulfilling that pursuit of being a relentless father, relentless husband, relentless AD, relentless friend. And so I think I kind of blocked it out a little bit, and you brought it up the other day, Todd. I'm like, oh, yeah, that didn't go so well last year. So I've spent some time reflecting on, well, what do I need to do this year? What needs to be different? What's been the issue? What did I have last year? And I suddenly started thinking about a talk I gave to at a girls basketball coaching clinic. Would have been 2 years ago now. And I talked to them about momentum and the word momentum. I talked to them about what it takes to overcome friction to get something moving forward in a positive direction. I talked about maintaining constant forward pressure to keep something moving, to keep any momentum you've gained moving and building. I talked about recognizing forces that will go against your momentum, might cause you to change direction, might cause you to slow down, and where those forces might come from. And they also are relating back to my last year as an AD in 2020, and just maybe how I got a little derailed, and I let those forces overcome any momentum that I had been building for the year. So you guys can see where I'm going with this. As I just kept thinking my way through that, I just kept coming back to the idea that I either did not generate enough forward momentum early in the year last year, didn't overcome that friction, force of friction I had overcome. That's the old science teacher geeking me there, by the way. The old coefficient of friction piece. I didn't dwell on that in my talk with the basketball players. I didn't define coefficient of friction for them. But I either didn't generate enough momentum early on in the year, or I let outside forces have too big of an impact on any momentum I had generated. And it really led to an up and down year last year for me. And so my year this year is momentum. or my word this year is going to be momentum, where I'm going to focus on building momentum, keeping momentum, and increasing that momentum throughout the year.
Awesome. You said you're going to keep, build, and
build, keep it, and increase it.
increase it.
I was struggling with mine this year because I kind of I was just kind of bouncing like the word my one word being renew. And then I had a conversation with my wife, believe it or not, the smartest person I know, or at least she tells me she is anyway.
She is.
Yes.
Right.
So I believe her, but I was talking about renew and just talking about how I just need to get a different perspective, and especially through COVID and just having a tough year. But then, we just were talking about what I wanted to accomplish, and she said, she used the word mindfulness, and I was like, at first I kind of disagreed with her, but then I went and looked up the definition, and it said mindfulness is a state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings and thoughts. And that was really kind of wrapped up what I need to do a better job of, is being more focused on the moment, being aware of how I feel and in my thoughts, and then how that pertains to what I'm dealing with at that moment. Because as you guys know, I am always trying to work ahead that sometimes I lose track of what's right in front of my face. So I'm not looking at the tree, I'm looking at the forest. And so I need to be better at that, is just really living for what is right in front of me. And especially through COVID, I think that's even probably made that more apparent. Like, you can't plan for 2 weeks from now or a month from now. You're dealing with every single day as it comes at you, because every day is different. It's not been the same old where you get in your routine as an AD and this is how we do things. Because, as you guys know, our guidelines have changed, our governor's proclamations have changed, our state associations have changed rules and guidelines, and different getting conflicting. Polk County Department of Health says this, CDC guidelines are this. So maybe even more than anything, COVID has really showed me that I need to be better at that. So my word for 2021 is mindfulness.
Awesome. I'm going to throw this at everybody because Scott mentioned it too, and I've been thinking about that. Aaron kind of brought it up too. Do you think COVID, I mean, how many people doing one words this year, COVID played a part in that word?
100% for me. I can honestly say that, the reflection of what happened last year and what I was able to accomplish or not accomplish clearly plays in a role.
It's probably a little bit easier in that time, where we were down for the pandemic starting in March. And we really talked about a lot on this podcast, is we really talked a lot about just doing a little bit more in-depth thinking about who we are and what we do and why we do it. And again, like Michael said at the beginning, of just using the pandemic as an opportunity to get better. I think that really kind of drove my thinking process of what I needed to work on, was just kind of working through, COVID and having that time off and focusing my attention on really working on, myself, and not maybe worrying about all the other things that we have to do and all the other people that we have to worry about as ADs, but really focusing on, well, I'm a screwed up mess too. What can I do to fix me too? So,
yeah.
Cool.
Well, you think back, Scott, we gave you a hard time, but all of your long walks in the woods.
I know, hey, they paid off, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what they paid off, but something.
Right. Yeah. All right. So we got momentum from Aaron. We have mindfulness from Scott. Taylor, let's see what you've got up there in Clay County of Iowa.
Yeah, Scott, I really kind of, what you just kind of talked about, speaks to me a little bit too, and kind of where I was at, and Michael, and how, COVID, kind of threw us all off. And, I talk about a lot how great it is to be back in my hometown and serve our community and our kids. But I was 27 when I took that over, and our head baseball coach was my third grade teacher. And I love him. He's a great guy, and I learned a lot from him. And, and then our football coach was my American history teacher, which I got kicked out of my office yesterday and would love to take his class again, because he teaches his class in our library to space the kids out. And I found a back room and was listening to him do and teach. And it's like, man, Jim, I would love to come be in your class as a 29-year-old.
Awesome.
When I was 17 taking that class, I didn't really care. But, really, it didn't take a lot of time to think about it, but felt kind of inadequate taking the job. Weren't ready, didn't know enough. How do I impact, these kids when, heck, I just graduated 8 years ago. And I, technically the boss of, a lot of my former teachers. So that, and, you kind of feel like, like Scott said, kind of a mess. And, I think just kind of gotten in the grind and the go. And, I'm a believer when you focus, when you're, like Aaron talked about, the best version of yourself, and you focus on yourself and you're personally ready, and you're in a good spot, you then serve other people better. I talked about, Jeremiah 29:11 through 13 is, those verses, and what it says is, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And this is where 12 and 13 really struck me. And really 13, it says, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And so seek is my word, where I want to, I think I've done a bad job at seeking relationships. Somebody was talking last week about, just having your door open. And I feel like I had my door closed a lot, and what that speaks to people this past year, and how just a simple thing like that doesn't cultivate relationships. So whether that be being the best future husband I can be, or the best friend I can be to our guys in Spencer, the best AD to our coaches, or kids, and serving them, that. And then it's so I have Natalie, my fiance, created this office for me when we moved here in April, actually, and she has I'll show it to you. Nobody else will be able to see it, but it says, so what is God teaching you today? And so at the bottom, it's from Steve Walters, and he's a mentor of mine in Vermilion, and he's the pastor of the church I went to, and him and I got coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning, and every other Friday, and just talked life. Didn't try to make it a Bible study. He just spoke to me, and he passed away, unfortunately, last year. And so having that reminder, and so I feel like losing him and losing the church I had, my faith walk hasn't been very good either the last couple of years. So, seeking God in my faith, and then also just seeking stability. I think that's kind of a COVID year. We didn't feel like stable this year, but
I think that's just an AD. That's just an AD mantra all the time, is just trying to remain, keep your program stable, mentally be stable. And so I can completely see that.
Yeah. So, that kind of is, how I came to that. And I think the biggest thing, like you guys said, is how, last year, for Aaron and I, it didn't go very good, but how do you make it go well, and how do you, hold yourself accountable with, friends like you guys, and putting it in places that, you see it every day, that it clicks, and, remove distractions from your life that you don't need, or things like that, to be the best version of ourselves. So, yeah.
Great word.
That is a good word. And your explanation's awesome, Taylor. That was that's a good one. And boy, that's something we can all do every day. Obviously, is seek more. But
That's good.
yeah, good stuff.
Really like that.
Taylor, I'm looking at that word here right now. Sorry, I know we're going to get to Michael and to Todd, but I'm looking at that word right now, and something, as we talked about with this whole COVID thing and how that's influencing things, and just other stuff. But you can't seek without your eyes being forward on what's next, and what's my role and purpose, and what's next. And that word seek, I'm looking at it. I'm just envisioning this constant forward vision.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get stuck in what's happened, because you can't change it. Learn from it, but keep your focus forward on what's next. Great word.
Yep,
Yeah,
I really like it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, Michael, we're anxious to hear what you've come up with too.
Well, listen, I'm hoping I can be as eloquent as you guys have been, and put it together. I mentioned earlier my thought process when I sat down and started rolling through the ideas, kind of rolled back to 2020. The pandemic put us in a bunch of different directions. One, put my wife and I here back home together when we weren't maybe used to being home together so much.
Mm-hmm.
She's still, she's teaching classes. I'm, on a laptop doing what I can do, but there's obviously, as you know, all I'm doing is canceling things. I wasn't really producing anything or moving anything. And then along with that, we had 3 22-year-old daughters, and I guess I should explain that I've got a set of quadruplets.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, I could have said that way earlier. Impression. If I could have seen all 4 of your faces, that would have been great.
Heck, I can hardly manage a dog.
Right. Oh,
that's a podcast topic all on its own sometime right there. How do you manage quadruplets?
Yeah. I'll gladly try to walk you through the process. I don't know how we made it. Listen, we've got 3 college graduates, one working her way through college. 2020, I can go back. We had 2 kids graduate on the same day at 2 different universities in 2 different states.
wow.
So that's a whole different world. My son graduated in 2020, and then has moved to Texas for a GA spot at Texas State. So just a lot of moving parts in our life in the last year. And, the end is coming. And I'll be honest with you, last week I was playing golf with a buddy of mine who during COVID moved to Tampa for a job. And, that was our golf little group. So we're at the end of the round, we're sitting there talking. And we're both kind of recapping the year and thinking ahead, and trying to figure out how to make the best of ourselves and where we can go with it. And, kind of at the same time, we both mentioned, and it kind of stuck as my word. And I'll tell you, my word is vision. I'm looking, seeking a constant direction, and trying to find a way to block out the external negativity, block out the external things that come in our world. Before I got on this, I was watching this stuff about at the Capitol right now, and trying not to let all that stuff seep into me, and trying to find vision of how, one, personally, am I growing my religion the way I need to? Am I supporting my family the way I need to? Am I being the best dad? Along with that, I mentioned three of my daughters moved back home. So when my wife and I thought we were going to be in our golden years and empty nesters, we've now got 3 girls back home, and I'm sitting in a bedroom doing this podcast instead of sitting in what should be an office or a man cave, doing it. I just, that vision, that guidance, and there's not a plan as that word come, but I want that word to help me continually seek that guidance, to seek that goal, to look for the answers. In 2020, and when COVID hit, I sort of restarted working on my CAA process because I really wanted to get it done. So I really need to finish that and have that part of my vision. Am I taking my athletic program and my coaches and I take the approach of a servant leader. I think my role is I'm there to serve them. Obviously I got to help educate them and mold them and grow them. And some of those guys, like you mentioned, Spencer, have been coaching longer than I have, and they've been a head coach and successful a lot longer than I've been a coach or an AD. So it's kind of a unique role, but I want to make sure I'm developing a constant vision and laying that down for my school. I listened to episode 1 of the podcast. Somebody mentioned, I don't know which one of you guys said it, but you didn't go into school last week. You stayed away from the office. And I didn't go in last week, and it was a weird feeling coming back Monday morning.
Yep.
But it didn't bother me. It was like the first time I've had to kind of have that clarification of, that's the right path for Mike is to take time for Mike and not go in, and not worry about it. The fields are going to take care of themselves. I did check emails on my phone a little bit, those things, but I didn't feel the need to drive into school, check on things, do things. We had people in the gym, we had people in the weight room, we had people on campus. I just didn't feel the need to go, go through the process of checking on everything and make sure it's right. I had some faith and trust and any problems I could fix later, kind of like if I wake up at 2:30 in the morning, I can go back to sleep right now. And, I just think if I can find a vision and use that to continually motivate me and direct me, and find a way to say, this is the path for Mike. And I can't sit here and tell you I have that path laid out, but I know I need a vision. And that's why the word's out. When Ivan and I were playing golf and he said, we both need to develop a vision for where we want to go. I was like, God, that's it, and then that's stuck with me and I'll be honest, since Sunday or whenever it was that I responded to the tweet, I've been kind of rolling through. Is that the right word? Is that the right word? And yep. I got a group of guys. It's former coaches. 2 of us are now ADs. Another 3 are still coaching basketball. One's about to get out. They're just tired of it. But I sent them the word and kind of, outlined the book and, hey, are you familiar with it? Yeah. I said, well, here's my word. That's kind of my group. And hopefully you guys are too. But I think, if I can sit here and say, here it's written, where am I going? Am I getting things done? Am I taking care of stuff here? Am I growing professionally? I'm not looking to, obviously I like Winter Park. I like what's going on, but am I growing professionally? Am I getting better at my job? 5 years in, I don't know it. Hopefully 15 years in, maybe I'll know what I'm doing, but that's where I'm at.
That's awesome. That was Michael, that was mine last year, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I really worked on, and especially over the pandemic, was working on that vision of what I wanted our athletic program to be, and reaching out to coaches and getting input from coaches and student athletes and parents. And so when I was thinking about that word last year, and I know last year I struggled with what my word was going to be, and that the vision really started to accomplish for our athletic department and for me as an individual. And I think COVID really even probably put that even more so in motion.
Yeah, and
that was it was a good time for me to reflect and then cast that vision for what I needed to do in the future. So that's great.
I think
good stuff.
COVID, look at the positivity of COVID. It's given us all time to internalize where we're at and what's going on. Yeah. So, take that and figure out, okay, am I doing things that's best for me, and be true to yourself. Yeah, we're trying to run athletic departments that I'm sure, as all of us are talking, our schools are all different. And the individual days may be somewhat similar, but the demands of your principal or your booster club or whatever it might be are different for each of us. So internally as a school, I want to see things change, and I want to help define that as the school year progresses. And then, like I said, personally, I want to make sure I'm getting some next steps done in my career. It might seem like not to, 3 little letters behind my name. It's just like a next accomplishment, and then figure out from there what's next.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting to me how these are connecting together, our words we've shared so far. I hear Mike say that, and you made the statement there that you weren't really sure what that vision, that complete vision or complete path is yet, but you got to keep moving forward on it. Just remind me in church on Sunday, our pastor was talking about that and just talking about, you may not know the whole plan. You just have to know that next handhold or that next foothold and be willing to grab onto it and pull on it and then move on to what's next. And I think that vision word is cool in terms of, and the honesty about, we don't know what the end game is going to be.
Right.
But this is where we're trying to head and get there. And I'm going to grab on and hold on tight and keep going on that. So cool. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, to finish
Todd,
up. Yep.
the big reveal here.
Big reveal.
Big reveal.
Taylor knows it already. We talked about it, but Scott's actually one of the words you thought about. My word is renew.
Oh, cool.
And
Great minds think alike, man.
well, they do. And I don't know if I should be feel good about that or if I should be worried about
or
that.
concerned. You might be concerned. Yeah, there's a good.
No, and again,
There's a good chance that you could.
I'm not sure why it jumped out to me, except it's kind of grounded in two passages of scripture. Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's one of those things that I want to be better at in 2021, is to have my mind in the right spot all the time and to not conform, but to be renewed. And the other scripture is back in Isaiah in the Old Testament, 40:31, which is a popular verse as well, but just says those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. And I feel like so many times, and this helped today because the old ball coach had a tough game last night and was down. And this morning, as I'm just kind of sitting reflecting, quietly and reading some scripture, it's like if I ever need renewed, it's like right now, and it's today. So I was seeking strength that I didn't have, and so those two scriptures kind of guided that. But again, when I see a word or we talk about a word, I'm like Scott. I like to go into the dictionary and then I try to get as many. What's it mean?
Yeah.
Well, again, I think it's driven by COVID and what we went through. Just all the mud and stuff that we are still going through. But so definitions are to make like new, to begin again, to restore to existence, and to make extensive changes. So make like new, begin again, restore to existence, and to make changes. So I think the biggest thing is, I think renew is another, I think it's forward thinking to me. Because again, I want to be active in that, not reactive. I want to be proactive. And I think the fact that you're going to try to make things new and stay on top of it. And so that's what that word meant to me. And I've created a graphic with it. I think the last 2 or 3 years, my graphic has always had a picture of Okoboji, of the lake. And yeah. And so I think I've got it pinned on Twitter now too. But that's a picture from a dock that we sit on quite frequently of friends of ours, and looking over West Okoboji with the word renew right there. And again, I think even when we're up there for a weekend or 24, 36 hours when we go up, it's like, that just renews my mind. And so
I posted all of our one words on our Twitter page.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
And
retweet that.
I think what I'll do, guys, is I'll take everybody's word and I'll make one big poster of it too, and I'll send it to everybody so you have it.
Cool.
And then we can kind of stay in touch that way.
Yeah.
As well with each other through our words as well. So
I've noticed some pop-ups about my phone and some phone numbers and things of that nature, and I don't know how to do all this stuff, so I'm afraid to touch buttons and things. So if I have to somehow get when I get emails, and I'll send out phone numbers and get some communication, stay in touch with you guys.
That'd be awesome.
Yep, we'll do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, thank you, and it's been tremendous. Any last thoughts? Aaron, momentum. Taylor, seek. Scott, mindfulness. Michael, vision. And then mine with renew. But any final thoughts that you might have as we go through? Aaron, any final thoughts?
Well, like I said, I think it's interesting how these were just tied, and being tied together. Just a common thread on this. It seems to be, you brought the COVID, but it seems to be this constant pursuit. And I think that's what this whole one word process is about,
right?
Of becoming better. You always sign off our show with be blessed, and we talk about being better. And I think all of our words tie into this idea of we've had some good and some bad to get to where we're at right now. We're soon to have more of that moving forward, but there's this belief that better things are in front of us. If we'll just keep our focus, keep our vision, find strength in others when we got to find strength in others, keep fighting to keep moving forward, then the great plans that are out there for us are going to happen. And we just have to have some faith in that. So really appreciated this time. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Taylor, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, no, I've loved this. This has been really good for me. Just hearing, the wisdom that you guys and, kind of what you guys all talked about with how you came to your guys' words and what they mean to you. And, like Aaron said, they all have a common thread of being better and being the best version of ourselves, which I'm a huge Matt Campbell fan. Go Cyclones.
Amen.
Fiesta Bowl. But that guy he's the man. And I could listen to him all day and his locker room speeches. But I think the one thing I struggle with too is, it seems so encompassing and so big, and we need to make it one thing. And sometimes I think we focus on too much, and trying to be the best version of ourselves is hard. And if we can take it one step at a time and focus on one thing and then move to the next, once we feel we've gotten there, so that will be something for me to, kind of manage, because sometimes I feel like it's so overwhelming where this is too much. I'm gonna be done, so I think, to take it one step at a time and focus on one thing, throughout this year is, I seek to be better.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Scott, you wrap up.
Well, I just want to thank everybody. I say this quite often when we have these weekly discussions, but I just learned so much from others and appreciate so much that people are willing to share, and always love, having Todd and Aaron each week to, because there's times that I call both of them. I'm just like, dude, I'm really struggling and I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's so important as athletic directors to have those, we kind of talk about those people that are on your Mount Rushmore, and those people that you can, confide in and just say, hey man, I need some propping up right now, or I just need somebody to bounce this idea off of. And I know I really appreciate that about Todd and Aaron. And honestly, our relationship has grown so much through this podcast, but I'm just so grateful and thankful that we do this podcast each week. It really helps me refocus. And when I'm having a bad week for whatever, we get done with this and I just feel better about, what we do and why we do it. And, it makes me think and reflect on my week and how I can be better each week. And I see how, the things that Todd and Aaron do and our guests, Taylor, Michael, the things that you do and the things that you talk about, it just really, for me, it's just good food for the soul. So just continue to appreciate, all the ADs out there who do so many things for each of their communities and work so hard, especially this year. It's just been a tough year, and that's caused a lot of other things to just not be fun. So just very thankful for all the ADs out there. Todd and Aaron, Taylor and Michael, thank you for sharing this evening with me. It's been very good. So thank you so much.
Betcha. Michael, any final thoughts from down Florida?
Listen, first off, it was an awesome experience. I appreciate you guys letting me be part of it and hearing what you had to say and how everything kind of winds together, whether it's the Southeast or Iowa, and everybody's, the words kind of all flow together and what we're looking and what we're doing and what we're needing. I part of my vision is to get out of my comfort zone and do more stuff like this and put myself out there and kind of share what I believe and what I feel. And I appreciate you guys letting me have a little bit of opportunity tonight to do that, and I'm looking forward to hearing it again so I can take in everything else that's been said another time to kind of keep processing it, and take the wisdom. And if you're ever looking for a guy from the Sunshine State to sit down and chat with you again, let me know. It's been an awesome experience, and
yeah, awesome.
I'll talk with you guys again.
Next time I come to see my dad, I'm going golfing with you.
There you go. That's awesome.
Let's go.
Sorry, Dad.
There you go.
I will. Matter of fact, I scary enough today as I found out today I may be going as we have girls wrestling and boys wrestling in Florida now.
Awesome.
It is not very smart because they made the girls state championship the same day as the boys districts.
Ooh.
But we don't have multiple coaches. It's all one.
Oh boy.
So my coach, they said, how do we solve this? I said, where do you want me to go? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I'm either going to your districts and your assistant coach, who's an off-campus guy that, we'd rather not send by himself, or I'm going to go with the girls team and go. And he goes, you do that? And I said, that's my job. But
yeah,
the girls is in Orlando, so I'll let you go in. You can come down. We'll catch you around.
awesome.
There you go.
That's awesome.
I can hit it a little bit, but I can't hit it well. So
I'm right there with you, and it's a
Yeah.
lot harder in Florida. I can tell you that. There's a lot of
No.
grass in
no, there's
Iowa,
no.
and you can't hit it right or left in Florida.
Fair enough. We do have water, and then in the water we have these things called alligators. So you have to watch.
Yes, you
I'm
do.
not taking my shoes off and trying to find my ball in the pond there, like I do.
No, I would recommend against that, or I would let you one or the other. I've been scared on the golf course a few times by gators sticking their heads up.
Oh boy.
To me, it's automatic par. I pick up and go to the next hole.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been great to have Taylor, Michael. Thank you for being with us tonight. And we've got a new friend, and we'll get your address. We'll get you a Beyond the Bench T-shirt sent up to you, Michael, and get you going there. Yeah, I just want to encourage everyone. If you've been thinking about doing the one word, I would encourage you to do it and to give yourself a focus. I just want to end with this thought. I wrote this the other day and kind of posted this on my sites. I just called Embrace the Challenge. And I think it's a challenge sometimes. We start this, but again, the one word is not a resolution. The one word is something that we're going, for lack of a better word, we're going to seek to do it every day. That's a great reminder there too, but it's called Embrace the Challenge. So there will be moments, there will be days, there will even be consecutive days. The struggles will be there, the challenges will come, but embrace and accept the fact that they are going to happen. Don't lie in wait and lead from a negative place where you always look for them, but just know that they will come. When they come, work through them and know that you will be better and stronger on the other side of them. Your leadership is in a constant state of becoming, and becoming better means you sometimes must be refined through the fire. You can handle the tough times. You will be better because of the challenges. And if you are better, those around you will be better too. And that's the goal. So embrace the challenges and be better because of them. Thanks everyone for listening. And when we catch you again around season 3, episode 3, we start our 4-part series talking about the education athletic experience with a great group of ADs that will be joining us on that one. So thanks for joining us tonight. Good luck with your one word, and we look forward to connecting with you again. Thanks, everyone, and be blessed.